Okay, Monday, 27th of January, 2025. So, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Money Monday, Bitcoin and the other stuff, and everything else. Bitcoin's role in a multipolar world. Now, months ago, 6 or so months ago, I recorded a video about this, talking about a multipolar world. And it's worth understanding that Bitcoin does indeed play a role in the multipolar world as a trusted, neutral payment mechanism. So let's take it bit by bit. So multipolar world, meaning there's no central focal point, there's no central point of say world domination, world power, central power. Each region has their own regional power, and they're all equally strong or equally, let's say at a stalemate, so to speak. You could say something that was similar to 110 years ago in 1910, 1915, well, 1905, something like that. Different regions, different continents are equally powerful. Fair enough. There was no one particular power that was ruling them all, so to speak. Now, with this system here, okay, that's what it is. With this system, then, you combine that, you cross-reference that with the first principles of Bitcoin. Money you can earn, money you can spend, apolitical, decentralized, fixed supply, and deflationary. Now, some people have also described it as a neutral energy. Indeed, linked money. So you could say what backs Bitcoin ultimately is atoms and electrons, electricity, energy, pure energy. That requires no trust in order to move value around the world. Interesting. So what that means in this universe that's in a perpetual state of stalemate, who can you trust? That's the question. On anything, on any regard, finance, economics, food production, energy distribution, material production, shipping, logistics, who can you trust? And that question is timeless, is perpetual in human history. Who can you trust? This person, them, whatever. But you know that there's a form of currency out there that no one controls. Therefore, you don't need to trust anyone apart from maths, computer science, and physics, ultimately mathematics. As I said before, Bitcoin is ultimately maths, computer science, and physics. You don't trust anyone apart from maths, computer science, physics, the laws of physics. And again, energy. Bitcoin is backed, you could say, by energy. Bitcoin is energy. It's the closest form of money we have to pure energy. Then that means that then you could say that those countries don't need to worry about money as a form, as a way, as something that they need to rely on someone to trust, because in a singular unipolar world, what we have more or less now, if one country does something that someone else doesn't like, the one in first place, let's say, the kid on the block, the one that's in charge, let's say, if this country over here does something that this one doesn't like, then there's all kind of sanctions and tools and things they could do, like what happened in end of February 2022. Certain country was cut off from online, let's say, a global payment network, which meant that they were separated. These two countries created by de facto created a multipolar world. It was the first splinterings of it, and we'll see 10, 20 years from now what's going to happen. This is what's happening today, and what happened a couple of years ago. This stuff is for future historians to debate. 10, 20, 30 years from now, historians who aren't even born today. That'll be for them to decide, whenever in the future. But if something goes awry, where other countries aren't following this one's lead, for whatever reason, ideological, political, generational, any kind of dispute, again, who can you trust? Any reason, you're either going to get, what kind of responses are you going to get? Either going to be, carrot and stick. In this case, it was stick. And therefore, it was this fracturing. And if that continues, more and more fracturing here and there, again, multipolar, so this region, this continent, this over here, north over here, south over there, all these different things, who can you then trust? If there's no one unipolar power to rely on, to depend on, so to speak, for different things, like finances, like money creation, money value, money distribution, you name it, then who can you trust? Then if you can't trust anyone, by definition, you want to trust no one, meaning you want a currency that you can't trust. I mean, you don't need anyone's trust. I don't need to rely on a third party, or a custodian, or a bank, institution, whatever else, political regime, anything, you name it. A third party in any factor, in any way, in any shape or form, to trust that my money, that money, can be sent around the world. Because by splitting off and cutting out this financial system a couple of years ago, that creates division. But if you can't do that, because the maths says that can't happen, again, Bitcoin is maths and code and physics, if that can't happen, then you have this immutable ledger, and again, first principles of Bitcoin, immutable ledger, it can't be changed, this record that can't be changed. Then what you have here is this payment network that is, arguably, you could say, perfectly suited for a multipolar world. When the principle here ultimately is, when the question of trust arises in the money, who can you trust? If you can't trust no one, because for whatever reason, for any reason, you name it, and open a dictionary and look at any adjective, for any reason, this one's too that, this one's not enough this, you name it, then by definition, you have to trust no one, meaning Bitcoin. And that's interesting because, and I want to do a video about this, probably in the future, all roads ultimately lead to Bitcoin. The question of trust in a multipolar world, varying degrees of trust, no matter who, and I like to trust them a lot, but them not at all, and vice versa, and all kinds of combinations. The thing you can trust ultimately is maths, computer science, physics. There we are then. Everyone can trust that because the laws of gravity never get switched off. The laws of mathematics, 1 + 1 = 2, never changes. Code is still code. It either works or it doesn't work. It's binary. The protocol dictates. You could even go one step further to say that the protocol can, this is quite a statement. You could even say that the protocol dictates world peace. The protocol enforces peace. The protocol creates trust. The mathematical protocol creates trust. Makes sense. A little dramatic way of looking at it, but logically it makes sense. The protocol of Bitcoin, the trustless protocol behind it, enables these actors, these countries, these people, these places, institutions, businesses, whatever, to buy and trade, basically, to sell, to exchange value, move it across the world, moving their value across the world like that, without relying on a third party. And that third party can block, censor, divert, render useless, detach from, you name it, this party over here, because this party did something that the third party doesn't like. And this is exactly what happened at the end of February 2022. Fascinating stuff. So it has a key role to play in a multipolar world. A neutral, energy-linked money that requires no trust in order to move value around the world. Wow. Very profound. Very, very, very profound. And you combine that with the fixed supply, deflationary properties, apolitical nature. It's extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. So, wow, that's all that can be said. But yeah. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.